What's up, folks? It's Jang here from Ultimate RC with an unboxing and first look at the Thunder Tiger eMTA. Now, this is a new release from Thunder Tiger. It just came out in the United States. You can get this as of the time of this video. You can get it at Tower Hobbies right now. That's where this one came from. But it has been out already for a good number of months overseas. Normally, I would unbox something this big in my other studio, the one where you actually see me, but my house right now is in quite a bit of disarray. It's being completely rearranged, got a lot of stuff going on, good stuff though, but just no space to do it right now. So I'm going to try to squeeze it into this area. Probably have to cut some stuff out. Speaking of cutting, I'll just cut with my trusty cutter here. There we go. And have a look at this thing. It's a little bit odd to me that Thunder Tiger has come out with this thing, because you know, they already have the MT4 G3, which is a great monster truck in and of itself. This is an entirely new design, and on the day, I think it was the day that I was filming this video here, Thunder Tiger's Team Associated division also released basically an electric version of the Monster GT, the good old MGT from back in the day. So now Thunder Tiger proper, the entire company, has 3 competing monster trucks. Okay, we've got a let's see, I can't even see my camera right now. We've got a wheelie bar right here. Looks like 3 screws, and it's got a wide wheel on it, so that should be able to last a while. You can see again the nuts, wheel nuts, 17 millimeter, not pre-installed in this case. The tires will need to be installed. Got an extra spur gear here. You can already see that the shocks are using preload clips, so no threaded bodies or anything nice like that. And we've got some what do you call those things? Some Allen wrenches. This is just paperwork, which nobody cares about. And then each of these, there are 4 boxes like this that each contain a wheel and tire. It's just a packaging thing. Hey, got a yellow one this time, not a red one. That's good. It's different. And this is, it feels like the same stuff as the MT4, same material. So I'll go ahead and finish unboxing this. So much better having that extra room. Really cramped in here. So, like I said, wheels and tires need to be attached, so I'll go ahead and skip through that. Okay, there we go. So, all assembled, and I do want to make a note about the wheel nuts that I just put on. They do not have nylon locking rings in them. They also do not have serrated faces, so they're not going to actually bite into the wheels. So you do want to use a little bit of blue Loctite to help secure those on there, otherwise they can start to loosen themselves up, and that can be very irritating. So just take a little bit of preventative maintenance on those, and that should go a long way. By the way, these are not true beadlock wheels. If you haven't seen the MT4 stuff, they're fake. The rings are removable independently, and they have different colors of rings available, but you have to actually glue the tires on. So let's take a look at this thing overall. First off, the body design, it's a subjective thing always when it comes to looks. Thunder Tiger as a company has a very strange aesthetic, if you ask me. The stuff that they make often looks odd. I think this is one of the better looking bodies they've done. Honestly, I think it looks better than the MT4 body, but it's still pretty thin. It's not very durable stuff, especially around the edges that have been curled down over the mold. Don't expect it to last too long. It does have a more durable shape than the MT4 one, just intrinsic to being closer to just a round egg shape almost, but 3 body clips used to hold this thing on. And what's up with this big space right here? Big opening? What is that? Talking about body. Well, I'm assuming, yeah, there we go. Open that up. That's access to your battery tray. Your battery tray goes transverse across the truck. So you put in 2 2S or 3S packs, but the 3S packs can only be your 2S high, 2S sized, smaller packs, generally 4,000 milliamp hour and below. especially if you're doing hard case. If you're doing soft case, you might be able to get just a little bit more than that, but they go across through this cavity in your chassis, and you've got these butterfly looking things, or what is this? I see these clips to hold this on. Oh, come on, that should have been easier. That really should have been easier to get out. I'm not a fan of this. This is a depth stop to hold your batteries in. Keeps them separated a little bit, but just sets the length of your batteries. There are a number of different spots where it'll stop on the way in, so you can get your batteries snugly secured in there so they're not sliding back and forth. These edges here of the mold are a little bit sharp. I've already feel like I'm almost cutting into my skin just going into that. So you might want to smooth these out a little bit, especially if you have soft case packs. Not that it's going to really cut in, but it might chafe as you put batteries in and out. You probably want to load your batteries from the other side though, because I'm assuming that's where the wires are going to go in. Looks like there's a pair of vents here on this side. I'm going to go ahead and put this back in. Probably would only access this from one side, but I was just curious because this is where it was. So speaking of the other side, before I take the body off, since I'm looking at this, here's the other side, same thing, no tools required, and this opens up. Well, that's a bad sign for starters. Check that out. You've already got some insulation that's missing from the edge here of this nice thick 10 gauge wire. That's cool. Thick wire. Dean's compatible T-style connectors here, probably not official. Soldered on there a little bit high, at least on a couple of these. Probably not the best connections. Actually, this one looks like it's soldered to the end of the piece. Look at that. Okay, that's not good, and I would definitely be on the lookout for pinching. I don't know if this was just an assembly error, somebody kind of left this out and went, and then, and then put it in. You see this hinge, you don't have to worry about it falling off, but it's definitely something to look out for. Again, pinching and chafing on the edges when you close this up. On this side, we again have another one of these. This one looks like it was not put in correctly, but if it was put in correctly, it would have been a pain just like on the other side. I would recommend leaving one of these out if you can, just because they are a pain. The way that they work, you actually grab it like this, and squeezing that down is supposed to unlock the end from the little notches that it travels in, but it's not quite enough, and it wants to do that. It's short and it's spring-loaded the wrong way, especially if you have larger fingers. That's going to be a pain digging in there every single time. So I recommend setting your battery depth from the other side and then fashioning up a piece of foam or something that you can set right here, or maybe even double-sided tape or shoe glue to the inside of this battery door. Then you never have to worry about these again pretty much in life, and that would solve that problem. And I would feel much better about the thing then. Body comes off with 3 clips, and they are large clips. That's nice. Pretty easy, and there we go. There is your eMTA. What the heck are we looking at here? A whole lot of plastic armor is what we're looking at here. Here, I'm going to turn it around because this is a funky layout, really funky. Almost harkens back to the Tamiya TNX Terra Crusher. Originally, it was called. This is all just armor pieces. I should point out that there's no set of vents on this side of the battery tray, so you only have a little bit of vintage to your batteries. That's a little bit suspect. Small vents here, small vent here, small vent here. Your ESC is under here. Your radio receiver is under here. Your batteries obviously go under here, and this is a pretty wide tray, so you can probably put some long batteries in there. Your motor is transverse mounted. That's odd, very odd. Going across, and then there's a set of bevel gears inside the transmission. Transmission's down in here. There's a slipper clutch over here. It's adjustable from the outside. There's a door you can open up, again with no hardware or no tools required. That's a good thing. Speaking of tools, hex, Phillips, hex, Phillips screw pins. again, taking us back. I wonder if this is an old design that was shelved a long time ago and they just pulled it out of the archives. They never released it, because there are a lot of old things being done here. Screw pins, not even captured. I would expect to see, you know, some locking nuts at the ends of this. Through screw pins with Phillips heads, chrome Phillips heads. Doesn't even match the other hardware on this thing. And they don't give you any Phillips tools with this kit. They just give you hex head stuff. So choose one and go with it. You know, if you're not going to go with hex, go with all Phillips, I'd say. But before I move on from the center section, electronics, we're dealing with a 150 amp ESC. It's completely buried under there, so you're not going to see it, but it's the same one that they used on the MT4 G3. 150 amp, rebadged, hobby wing, genuine, legal, proper hobby wing, easy run series, RTR ESC, 150 amp, 6S capable, good. Same motor that they used on the MT4 and the Rally and pretty much all of their 8th scale stuff. 2000 kV rating on this one. Full 8th scale size, got a nice metal or anodized aluminum motor mount over there. Should point out, you're not going to see it again because everything's covered up, but this has no center diff. So if I just zoom this back out a little bit here, and you turn this, and you hold the other tire down, there you go. No center diff. Wow. Clonka, 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 clonka. Got some large pitch gears in this thing. Kind of loud. It's kind of echoing through all this plastic armor here. Let's take a look at the suspension. That's another funky thing that they did here. They went with the lay down style, cantilevered, with the shocks laid down horizontally across the chassis. This is good for durability, survivability really of shocks, in the sense that shocks are hits that come and forces that hit this end here directly if you hit a rock or something, rather than risking bending the shock shaft or doing damage to the end. You've got an extra joint in here, actually 2 joints, ball joints, that can just leave that force alone. The force will actually just get absorbed by the A-arms. These shocks are the cheapies. All plastic, looks like. Yep, plastic. Yep, plastic. The cheapest of the cheap. All plastic, top to bottom. Big bores, yes, but they even use the preload clips, as I gave you a little preview of earlier on with one of the accessory bags. I did hear from one of the guys that got one of these months ago that you can pop off these tops. The shock caps can be popped off sometimes, which is something that Traxxas vehicle owners unfortunately are used to when you first get an RTR, so that's not a good thing to carry over to another company's line. These are nice and beefy, these push rods, though. I'll say that. I don't know if there are any bushings in or bearings in here. Probably bushings. They don't need to be bearings. But the suspension setup actually feels okay out of the box. It's not fully loaded right now. You know, it's dry, but this feels okay. There's a lot of progressiveness. Let's see if I can take some of this off. And yeah, a lot of progressiveness. Actually feels pretty good for an out-of-the-box setup. It probably will have some squat, but pretty decent. Should have similar handling characteristics to the MT4 based on how it feels. A little bit springy as it gets down. I don't know if it's going to bottom out quite as easily. Probably not. Just with the stock setup, it's kind of preloaded up pretty high, but feels pretty stable. I'm not worried about rollovers. We'll have to see how that actually works out in the real world. But the driveline is all metal on this, of course. Got pillow ball suspension. Sorry, it's kind of hard to see there with big old wheels and tires kind of burying everything. But pillow balls, front and rear. Looks like symmetrical parts, A-arms and pillow balls. So get a pair and they'll work on any corner. Except for, no. The knuckles are symmetrical front to rear, but not left to right. So you do need to get those in. Wait. Looking at it again. I'm not sure. Maybe they are symmetrical. I would have to actually take them off and look at them more carefully because it's kind of hard to see. I'm looking at the one over here. They may be. so-called constant velocity, not actually constant velocity, but you know, the fully captured style axles here. And then at the rear, I'm expecting dog bones. No. Again, the same thing. You went symmetrical on the driveline. Captured ends there, so dog bones inboard only, and everything's captured condensed U-joint style right there, single cardan joint, adjustable turnbuckles, and of course that's for toe. And then of course with pillow balls you can adjust your camber. I'm trying to see if there's any adjustment up front to caster angle. There is not stock with this one. Really disappointed about the screw pins. Steering play is acceptable for something of this size, for an RTR with meats this big. However, where's the servo saver? Not there. Does it have one at all? Yeah. There. That's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. On this big old thing with these huge tires, I don't know if you're going to see a little bit of glint, a little glimmer of shine in there. It's one of those servo horns that has the built-in servo saver with the little clips going around it. Little springy metal clips. Those are lame, in my opinion. That's my professional opinion, is that those are lame in general. I haven't had one of those that I liked. Some of them are set up acceptably, but none of them good, in my opinion. I can't even get a feel for how stiff it is, if it's going to be letting the tires just wobble all over the place. Hopefully it's stiff enough, but I would definitely have preferred having an adjustable normal 8th scale setup. You can just tighten it down on your own. Looking at these bulkheads now from underneath, I'm just noticing how similar they are externally from the outside to the design of the Traxxas T-Max and E-Max ones. Looks like, yeah, very, very similar in design with the ears. Your screw pins go through ears on the bulkheads. The bulkheads have ears up top for your shock towers, front and rear. Definitely a lot of old looking stuff on this. I don't know how new this design really is. That's a mystery. If I could put money on it, I would definitely say that this was an older design that just never got produced until recently with the huge success of I'm assuming, huge success of the MT4. I know it's been very well received. Maybe they just thought, hey, we've got space, let's put out another monster truck that's even more monster truck E than this. I think that pretty much takes care of the overall look at this thing. So setting up the battery tray is going to be important, doing that right once. Get those centered in there. You'll need to add something, spacer for one side. I would not recommend leaving that stock setup unless maybe you serrate it or add something on to the end of those clips for pulling out those end stops. The use of screw pins is old. If they're strong, that's great. I'm not going to complain. Sometimes those things will back themselves out after a while, especially once they get some dry dust in them. But you can put some CA glue on the threads just before you thread them in the rest of the way, and that will usually stop that. Or you can thread them in from the opposite side on the areas that are unthreading themselves, just to the way that the forces work out. Everything being covered up here, not waterproof, but should keep you from getting too much big debris like pieces of dried grass and such from getting into your electronics. That's good. But I don't know about small dusts, and smaller things will probably get trapped in there. Mud, if you go through mud, it's going to protect stuff a little bit, not enough. You'll want to cover up more of this stuff. I don't know how much coverage it has from the back, just in real use. You know, anytime you have openings anywhere, when you're dealing with fluids, you may think you got everything covered. You know, you really put a lot of thought through it, but then you actually go out to a field, you go through a puddle, and all the water goes in exactly the wrong spot where you don't want it. So that's something that would just need to be tested, although I don't recommend testing it, honestly, because again, not waterproof electronics. It's just kind of weather resistant and debris element resistant. Let's put the body back on. The body posts, even though you've got one one nipple up front and 2 in the back. It's just the design. The mold has 1 on the top and 2 on the bottom. So you flip it at one end, and that's how you get 2 different designs out of one part. Only 3 body clips, that's a good thing. The radio for this, I'm not going to talk about this much because it's the same thing I've talked about a bunch of times already. Ace RC is the brand that they stick on it. It has trims and steering dual rate. That's the only stuff that's really applicable to this vehicle here. Feels okay in the hand. Uses 6 AA batteries, and of course it's 2.4 gigahertz. Other stuff included, I think I showed you everything that's included that's important. Might not have really highlighted this tool bag that has this interesting T wrench, L wrench, just something I haven't seen before. And then they do give you a full proper wrench that includes more nut drivers and an extension for your 17mm wheel nuts. The Thunder Tiger eMTA so far looks interesting. No fatal flaws that I'm seeing. Not a bad overall setup out of the box. I don't know why they added this to the market when they've already got other monster trucks out there, but pretty modern competition looking, like it's almost trying to be a little bit realistic with modern competition monster trucks, even though of course it's not solid axle, it's not that realistic, but I think it looks pretty good. I think it has a pretty good, nice rugged stance to it. I'm going to just move you down here so you can see just how much space there is under there. It's a lot of room. It's mostly for the look. You know, it's not a crawler, so you're not going to be going over terrain that's too rugged. That's not going to be all that ground clearance isn't going to be that useful to you really, but it looks good. So we'll just have to see how this thing actually drives. I know it's going to be able to, it should be able to go faster on a given gearing than the MT4 G3, just because it doesn't have the center diff, so it can actually put the power down. Whatever power you give it, as long as you have enough run up, you should be able to get to that speed, and you won't have diffing out all the time. On the other hand, especially going over rough terrain, you'll probably have the front wheels up in the air a lot more frequently. When will I get a chance to actually drive this thing? That remains to be seen. Like I said at the beginning, I've got a lot of stuff going on in my real life right now, not my hobby life, but you know, the whole other rest of life on the whole. So I haven't had a whole lot of time for RC lately, but I'll definitely get to this thing as quickly as I reasonably can. I am definitely looking forward to driving this thing and bashing with it. That's really what I'm most interested in. I will drive it on a track, you know, see how that goes and check the top speed and stuff, but I want to take this back out to a construction site type of thing and just bash it and just see what it does and see how it compares to the MT4 and to other monster trucks on the market. So that does it for this long beep video. I think I only covered information in there. I don't feel like I rambled too much, but still ended up being pretty long. Sorry about that. We'll talk to you again as soon as I can. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.